shot from Curry with 0.6 of a second remaining. The brilliant shooting of Stephen Curry continues.
Back to Green, into the hands of Stillwell. Fast break down to Weber. He turns. Look up behind the back. And the step and the foul. What a play by Weber.
I've never seen a shooting display like this. Never.
37 in a quarter.
Curry analyzes, shakes the ball out of his boot.
He takes a little swing and misses.
Curry splits the defense behind the back. Fires a three. Oh, he puts it in. What a spectacular move.
That could be the greatest move I've ever seen.
Here's Curry for the record.
It's good! There it is! Stephen Curry! The all-time three-point king in the NBA!
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
You are in Where's Huddle with me, Bram, and with me, per usual, my master of all things video and sound, Maxine.
How's it going?
And my boy and producer, MT.
What's up, Dev Nation?
Gentlemen, we've got awards to hand out, but I feel like there's some kind of unspoken podcast rule that if you're around a holiday, like within like 10 days of a holiday, you have to have some themed segment about it. And we are one day away from Thanksgiving, so at least acknowledge it, right? I don't have a segment, but we can at least talk about it. How'd it go, boys? The Thanksgiving treat you well?
It did. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you. Good time with family, friends. It's always a good holiday. Love the food. So, yeah, thankful for the podcast, too, and all the listeners.
It's kind of two sides for me. So Thanksgiving, I think, is my favorite holiday now. And that's really an incredibly selfish analysis. So like all the rest of them have shifted. Like Hanukkah is about me giving gifts, not receiving them anymore. You know, I mean, there's like all these things like Halloween. I'm not getting dressed up. My kid's getting older. It's like those have shifted. Eating is still the central point of Thanksgiving. Like that one is the same. And so like, I like that. There's a nostalgia to it. But the other side, so I went, saw my family, loved all of them. It was dope. Had a great time, great conversations. I got trapped at the wrong fucking table. We had too many people, you know, and so that meant two different tables. And if I'm being honest, the person I wanted to sit next to was with my mom. And I came out late and they got stuck kind of like on the side thing. And they seem to be having hella more fun at the other conversational table. There's a lot of laughter and television convo. So good times, but I don't know, kind of a swing and a miss, you know, like should have been an A closer to a B minus.
But what a beautiful thing that you wanted to sit next to your mom. That's really sweet, Bram. I feel like you're peeling back the layers of the onion that is your personality here.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but the story isn't like, and I had a great time with her. It was, I spent the whole time being resentful of how much fun they had at the other fucking table.
I feel like if it's going to be your favorite holiday, that's a rookie move for you to come out late.
Thanks, MT. Okay, I know that, dude. I'm bearing my soul to you here, and I got to take shit from you. What are you, the narrator? I get it, man. Okay, I won't make the mistake again.
Happy Thanksgiving, Bram.
Hooray! Maxime, yours went well?
It did go well. Yeah, it was very sweet. It was very calm. Had my parents over. First real Thanksgiving. Technically, Felix was alive this time last year, but he was a lump of a human. So it was very sweet. He definitely enjoyed the cranberries more than anything else, and that's probably because of all the maple syrup. But it was a nice time.
Marcus, would you like to question any of the decisions he made? He didn't really share anything to make him feel bad on, but I mean, we got about
he nailed it. He knows what's up.
Shocking. You may want to consider sitting next to people you didn't want to sit next to next time, Maxime. It really spices up the experience to our awards, boys. I think this is our third weekly award show. I'm not sure. I'd like to get that number really high. So we'll call it the third and kind of count from here. We're going to start in it's a familiar award, but it's put into an unfamiliar place. It's the Where's Waldo, where we normally do it late in the week. This is where we're just trying to spot something that stuck out. And here's why I'm putting it up front. And we're even going to make it Thanksgiving themed. It's been a shitburger week, boys. 3 tough losses, 2 awful ones, and then like a great comeback, but then still a loss against OKC. So instead of just giving me something you've spotted randomly, I need you to give me something you've spotted that you are still thankful for in this Warriors season, because I'm sure that anyone who's listening could, a little dose of optimism. And so I've got one, but I'll keep it in pocket. Either of you guys want to go first?
I'll go first. I'm thankful that we did not trade Jonathan Kuminga in the offseason. I know he's still a name being considered, and if we make a move at the deadline, he's probably one of the key pieces that we would include in a trade to get a big name back. But the two losses that we had that were both bad, Kuminga was out ill. He comes back, has a terrible first quarter against OKC, and then, probably gets back up to NBA game speed and is like, oh yeah, that's right, this is what it takes to play in the NBA. And then to me was the whole reason why we were even in that game. So I'm just, we probably will still strongly consider trading him, but just thankful that he was back. I underappreciated how much he means to the team. But you could tell just his athleticism, his, ability to get us, 15 plus points a game was pretty critical for us being the team that we are.
He asserted himself. The things that have frustrated me with Kuminga this season isn't when the shot's not falling. Like, that'll happen, and isn't even when he isn't hitting the boards, although I'd like to see it more. But there's been stretches where he's disappeared, which doesn't make sense at all for someone with his athleticism. Like we should notice when he's on the floor. And in that OKC game, you noticed, he was getting to the rim. He was kind of asserting himself, which I really liked. All right, I'm going big picture, boys. Here's the thing I like, the thing I'm thankful for. Shitty week. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Shitty week. They looked bad. We've had 3 straight losses. Everyone's feeling bad. And despite that shitty week, they are 12-6 and 3rd in the West. Their cap is in a good space. Steph Curry still is the most exciting thing in fucking sports. They have all the assets they would want to make if they want to make a trade. We entered this year, and if we had said, okay, fast forward a few weeks, they are 12-6, 3rd in the West. None of us would be like, shit. Like, oh, I can't, that sucked. We would be so excited to be where we are. So what am I excited for? I'm excited for where we are. We've got to take large picture. That I get that it was a frustrating stretch, but despite it, we're still looking good. So I am thankful for an early stretch and the team looking to be in good straits.
So didn't you say this is the Where's Waldo for something we spotted this week, and now all of a sudden both of you guys are switching this to be something we're thankful for? I'm generally confused. What are we talking about?
The thing we're trying to spot is something to be thankful for. What, did you not listen to the explanation of the segment?
I just thought it was something to spot.
Like a 45-second thing.
Did you spot the TV screen where it said the record was 12-6?
Did you pass out for the first 18 seconds of this segment? I mean, like that's all it was just me explaining this exact connection, and still here we are.
I just thought we were looking for something specifically, not just general vibes. But sure, hey, yeah, I'll go general vibes. That's fine.
Okay, do you want to? Should I re-explain it again, or
that'd be great? I think yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Do you have something? Just give us something.
I have a lot of things. First, I generally speaking, what I spotted this week is, if you stop looking at the scoreboard, if you stop looking at the box score and really actually watch some of the games, there's a lot of exciting things happening here. Principally among them, Draymond is continuing to look fantastic. He's continuing to play excellent on both ends, and that's pretty impressive when you have a slight downturn in the season, right? Playing the Brooklyn Nets, who everybody expected us to blow out, especially with the team looking as good as they did. It's the exact type of game that you expect to be a scheduled loss. And instead what ends up happening, not a scheduled loss, that you expect them to sort of come out flat and then come back. And yeah, ultimately they did not pull off the win, but you saw Draymond continuing to put in effort. Same thing with Podziemski. I think in general, the internet is being pretty anti-Podziemski at this point, and I think that's completely unfair. Again, the eye test says this guy is putting in the work and being the type of engine that you actually want to see. So I believe the shot will fall, because we talked about from his college career, he shoots a lot better, than he is now. And those are the indicators that would tell you that he will shoot well again, that he is not actually a bad shooter, which will increase his gravity and pull people into the 3-point line a little bit more and allow the lane to open up. So generally, I'm feeling optimistic based on what I'm actually watching from these games. Yes, the results are not what we want to see. But overall, I think actually this team, Bram, you keep on talking about the team having heart. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it play out on the court. There is reason for optimism, not just like, oh, well, DeAnthony Melton is out for the season and like that's really why we were playing so well and now we don't have him in the starting lineup, so we're screwed because we can't find anybody instead. No, I think this team has reason to be the third team in the West. This is not a fluke.
Did you give a shit for not being specific or for not talking uninterrupted for like 8 minutes? I mean, dude, I don't know if you can give a shit and then not give us anything. Like, MT, what was he thankful for? If you had to go back and look at the things he was actually thankful for, what would you say?
I think he was thankful for Pods being a Warrior.
Okay, I am also thankful. And Draymond, I think he was also thankful.
Draymond.
You just put a lot of pressure on yourself there, and then I'm not sure if you knocked it out of the park after giving a shit.
Unbelievable. Sounds like you're still seething from me calling you out for actually not.
I am. No, that's actually accurate. And then I was like, oh well, this is going to be incredible. He went out of his way to put himself on a limb, and then it just never happened. We didn't have the incredible moment I was hoping to get here. Take our next one, Jesus Shuttlesworth. You go first because I don't want to be shithoused by you. Your player of the week, Maxime. Who do you got?
Can we give it to Pat Spencer? That was ridiculous. I mean, so to be fair, I think that is because this has been a pretty rough week for Warriors basketball. We gave it to Wiggins last week, or at least some of us did, and I think there's reason to celebrate Wiggins again here. He's back to doing 17 points a game, just like the days of yore. That's great. But my God, Pat Spencer, not just hit some timely buckets. That turnaround fadeaway was like reminiscent of some KD shit. I'm not trying to say he's KD. These are also like nobody scouted this guy. Like, of course he's going to play better and he's going to come back down to earth if he gets any more playing time. But that was fun, man. That was a great time.
I will double down on that. So I did a little research on Pat. Pat Spencer has not played more than 8 minutes since the 2022 season. It has been an exceptionally long time since he's gotten any burn. And the thing that stuck out to me wasn't that he played well, he did. And it wasn't his confidence, although he was confident. It was that tech. I love that a guy who has not played and has not been given this opportunity comes out, doesn't get a foul call, and he's like, fuck that. Like, believes in himself enough to go out there and complain, like that's not a thing that a lot of people do. It requires a very specific personality type. And so, that's my guy, Mr. Lacrosse, Pat Spencer. He also gets it from me.
Yeah. And then he immediately apologized after and the ref kind of laughed, but it's caught up in the moment, but Pat Spencer is definitely the right choice. I'll give somebody different. I'm going to go with Jerry Stackhouse. I think our defensive improvement is clearly the reason why we, are third in the West, and whatever he's brought to the table and how he relates to players is working. There's a moment in the game where we're going back and forth toe to toe with, I think, arguably the best team in the Western Conference in OKC. And you could tell that they realized like, oh, this is a real team. Most other teams would probably just give up. And, if you're down 18-19, they just, mail it in. And we didn't do that. And I think OKC was like, that's right. We have to continue to play hard because these guys are equally as good on defense. So just shout out to Stackhouse for whatever he's doing and how he's holding people accountable. It's he's Mike Brown for us right now with the defense. As you know, an incredible addition to this staff, and I give him the lion's share of credit for the Warriors turnaround defensively. Also, this is not my tag. Somebody sent me a link, but if you Google Stackhouse and confused vampire, the amount of pictures that come up that show him looking a lot like a confused vampire are bananas, dude. Like here, Maxime, if you can share, go to Google of this. If we've got the technological prowess for this, and just Google that. And like I'm telling you, it is uncanny how much he does in fact look like that. While we're pulling it up, I'll ask another question and then we'll explore it in a second. So they come back, right? That OKC loss, we all had decided they're going to lose. We're prepared for it. Steph wasn't here. Here's an image. Go that top left. Yeah, there you go. Confused vampire. Move one over to the left. That one right there, when he looks like he is levitating, too, like both. That is so. If you're not joining us on YouTube, please check this out. It is like Nosferatu, but a defensive genius. All right, that's it. The OKC game. So I had written it off
Steph's hurt. We're playing the best team in the West. They're coming for blood. You know, I mean, I've written it off. And then the Warriors make this incredible comeback behind people like Slow-Mo and Pat Spencer and a collection of unexpected contributions. So as that happens, it sucks me back in. And then they lose. They lose anyways, because apparently Wiggins can't draw rim on a last-second layup that would have tied the fucking game. Yeah, but my question, I'm not even going to get angry at Wiggins. Instead, I'm going to ask you guys personality type. They lose the game. Did you prefer getting sucked in and having them, have the whole emotional comeback, but they come up short? Like, was it a glass half full experience for you? Or would it have been easier if you could just stay on the outside? Like, well, no, we knew they were going to lose this game. Just have them lose by 10 the whole time and never have to believe and then have your heart broken. Because I think I almost would have preferred if we had just lost it. Because they sucked me in so much in the fourth that when Wiggins doesn't make that layup, I'm pissy in a way I would not have been pissy had they just been losing throughout. So, but you guys, how do you experience it?
I'm glass half full because Steph was out, and for us to be there, and I'm 50-50 on that last play call. What a great call. Steve Kerr is great at ATO after timeout plays, but Wiggins is notoriously bad at making layups. It's a thing. Teammates tease him and they're like, how can you be so bad at bunnies? And the ATO that we draw up is beautiful. You don't expect it, a corner pass, with a dive to the rim, but draw it up for anybody but Wiggins. Like, Wiggins making that last shot as a layup is probably the lowest percentage. But
anybody, ask any Warrior fan. Right. So that pass, by the way, by Draymond, what an incredible pass and an incredible play call. It now looks like it is a uncontested trip to the rim from Wiggins. And I don't think there was a single Warrior fan, not one, whose asshole didn't pucker up. None of us was like, oh, it's in. It's like, oh no, it's Wiggins. I don't know. And then that's exactly what happened.
Like the free throw line.
And Fitz out of nowhere was like, Dort, blocked by Dort. And I replayed it 100 times. Dort didn't block shit. I don't know why he said that. There was no block at all. It was just a smoked layup terribly.
Yeah. Oh, man. But I'm glass half full on that. I like that they came back. They did it all without Curry. I think they, earned a little more respect in OKC's eyes, and OKC will have to play harder if they play us in the playoffs. But anybody, I get that it's a misdirect and nobody thinks you're going to do a ATO dive to the rim layup for Wiggins, but that's why nobody thinks that, is because of how he shot it.
I kind of hated that SGA kept taking threes. I liked it that he was missing them, but it was almost like he had decided, oh, no, I'm going to be beating you with a 3-pointer. I don't give a shit how many it takes me. At some point, if it goes 1 for 10, that's fine, because that 10th is going to be the one that beats you. How'd you take it, Maxine? Because I feel like you might be more closer to my analysis on this. Not as crazy as me, but the loss would hurt you.
100%. Yeah, I'm all about the glass half full. I love the optimism. I completely agree that it's great that we played so close when Steph was out. But yeah, I'm sure you guys, Bram, I think you were there. The big game, the Cal Sanford game.
I didn't go, but yeah, I'm aware of it. Yeah.
Well, right. We won the game, but it was coming back from 21-7 down in the first half. The whole second half, I'm like, no, don't, let's just end it, right? Let's get Sanford a couple more touchdowns. I don't want this misery. The whole time I was sure as we were marching back that we were going to lose. I'm habituated to this at this point. We've blown 2 in a row, 18-point leads. I'm just like, I can't handle this stuff. Yeah. So no, I did not want it.
No, I totally feel that. I'm like the movie character, refuses to love again. I just don't, I don't want to get hurt. I'd prefer just be out. That's fine. I live by myself and don't pay attention to anything. It's good times. All right. We got a couple other awards to give, but before we do, a quick word from our sponsors, Underdog. Huddle listeners, have you heard of Underdog? It is the place to go if you're a sports fan looking to win money while watching games. On Underdog, you compete against other players just by selecting higher or lower on 2 or more player stats. No complicated money lines, no need to understand the point spread or have any knowledge on anything related to gambling in any way. You just need to know a little about basketball and be willing to make a guess. For example, if you think Darius Garland will score more than 19.5 points against the Hawks tonight, or that John Morant will go for 20 or more against the Pelicans, you can make those picks. And if you're right, you can win more than 1,000 times your money. To give you a quick sense, I've been playing this. I've been avoiding individual fantasy before we got this ad spot. Started trying it. I love it. It's brought my love for fantasy back. It makes me care way more about the games, even if I'm not locked into either team. And I get to get a fresh start, unlike weekly fantasy. So if you are wondering if you can play in your area, Underdog is available in 33 states, including Texas, Georgia, and the Golden State of California. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em, so sign up for your shot to win real cash prizes all season long. Download the app today and use code WHP, as in Warriors Huddle Podcast, to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's code WHP to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Higher or lower, you make the call on Underdog. Must be 18 plus or 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, and Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. It's void in Colorado. If you're concerned with your play, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, that's 1-800-NEXT-STEP, or you can text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE New York, or text Hope New York to 467-369. Underdog, check it out. We're huge fans. All right, boys, to our Chris Mills on Your Bus Award for Asshole of the Week. I haven't gone first. I'll take this one. I'm cheating. I'm going to change the award and hand out the Latrell Sprewell Award for Choke Artist of the Week. And it goes to the Golden State Warriors for 2 shitburger, completely choke, fall apart, asshole losses to San Antonio and Brooklyn. Felt a lot like last year, gave me PTSD, could not stand it. So they're my award winners. And shout out to Susan of our Patreon family for a just dynamite Latrell Sprewell Choke Artist Award name. That is good stuff by her. I wish I could take the credit, but it goes to her. Who do you guys blame for a collapse like that? Like they're up 18, up 17, lose both. Is it this just happens in the NBA? All teams are good enough, or is there someone who we can point a finger at?
I mean, I think there's equal blame to go around. Steve Kerr's rotations didn't help. Like in one of the games, Moody had the hot hand, and then he sits for 2 quarters, which is a little baffling. But all in all, I think there's silver lining to it. Yes, they're choke artists and great name for the Latrell Sprewell Award, but I think it'll bode well for us later on in the season that we know just because we go up that big doesn't mean we can take our foot off the pedal. So I think it's good for us in the long run, but it just sucks now in the moment.
Are you really that optimistic? I didn't think there was anyone who was like, at the second time they're throwing away this huge loss, and Marcus is leaning over like, this is so good for us. Oh, thank God this is going down. I
hope no one calls this Latrell Sprewell because it's so
the blame I'll give Steve Kerr, and I'm not even sure if blame's the right way, but he has that Phil Jackson tendency where if his team is struggling, if they're up 18 and it goes to 15, 13, 8, 5, instead of calling the Spoelstra fuck you timeout, the get over here, we need to talk about it, he just lets them keep going. It's like, the Phil Jackson thing was like, it's part of their journey. Like they're learning by going through this together, whereas I'm done with it. I would like to see a timeout, if it continues post timeout, fine. But the helplessness I have when we go from that 18 to 7-point lead and they're just allowing it to go through, I can't stand it, and I didn't have any optimism through it. Did not make me feel good at all.
Yeah, I mean, before you let us know that the award name was going to change, I was going to give the Chris Mills on Your Team Bus Award to 18-point leads. I don't want to see him anymore. Fuck this,
I'll go. And then one person I think deserves the Chris Mills. It's a little old, it's probably 10 days or so old, but still worth it, is Paul George. He was coming back from injury. He's on a minutes restriction, and they lose to the Lakers. 76ers lose to the Lakers, and they ask him about it, and he starts to complain about being double teamed by the Lakers because he was just getting back and he couldn't get in a groove and he was on a minutes restriction. So he was frustrated that the Lakers were double teaming him and not letting him get in a groove. It's like, wait, what? Like, I don't know what world Paul George is living in where it's like teams should acquiesce and change their game plans to make sure that he can ease back into the game and get into a good rhythm. It's like the whole point is for you not to be in a rhythm. Like I don't know where that comes from, but I'm glad that we didn't trade all our pieces for him, including Jonathan Kuminga.
He supposedly either tongue-in-cheek or directly told JJ, the Lakers coach, like, what are you doing, dude? You're like, I'm on a minutes restriction. Why are you doubling? Like, what's happening here? And the asshole thing I'll give to Paul George. So, I mean, Philly is not in the best of places. Things aren't going super well there. And one of the things that spilled out is that they had a players meeting, and then details came out of the players only meeting, that Maxey apparently called out Embiid. And it got ugly that details came out of the players meeting. Like they didn't like that. Embiid didn't like it. And Paul George dealt with that by doing a podcast about the players only meeting. He was basically like, I guess it's out now. Let's do a podcast about it. Like, this sounds like a great idea for content. So let's pump it out. So good for him. Also, if we ever do a players only like podcast meeting, let's make it a segment. Like 100%. That sounds like fantastic radio. To our Golden Dagger Award, the shot of the week. I'll take this one first. Hard. There wasn't a whole lot of shots that like, hooray. I'd like to give it tongue-in-cheek to Wiggins not drawing rim. But if I've got to be optimistic here, I'll go to one of the 2 and ones that Slow-Mo had against OKC. I'm getting to really enjoy his game. And it's one of those things, like we've had a lot of versions of this. I bet you that watching Steph celebrate against you sucks ass, but having to do it like for us is so much fun. I bet you watching Draymond Green punk your team sucks ass, but if you're doing it for you, you love. I've been on the other side of this for Slow-Mo. He's never been on my team. And so that weird ass change of pace, slow and ones that he can pull off, I've always hated. Having it on my team now, like I'm a huge fan. So the Golden Dagger goes to Kyle Anderson.
Nice. Yeah, the deceleration. It's great. I'm going to give mine to Pods and for his 3-pointer that went in. And it was such a relief that he turned to the crowd, extended his arms. You could just tell he's in a shooting slump. He will hopefully find his way out. And that one going in was just like, finally, I don't know if it, takes all the weight off his shoulders and is the turning point for him to find his shot again. But it felt good to see that one go in.
I'm giving it to Pat Spencer, man. That turnaround fadeaway jump shot was so sick. It came out of nowhere. It was like at a time where, we were pushing back. I think we were up 2 by that point. Just so exciting. All the momentum was going in our direction. And frankly, I wish the game would have just ended right there. Maybe we have a power outage and, or like, what was the thing when, in San Antonio where they like couldn't get the AC on and it was like too hot in the building. Maybe we have the inverse and it's just way too cold. And we're like, sorry, I guess we got to stop now. Pat Spencer, MVP of the game. That shit was tight.
I remember there being a sprinkler leak in San Antonio years and years back, and they had to stop an indoor game because of a rainstorm, and like maybe we could have pulled that off. Like, oh, weird. It's raining now. It's like, final score. It's fine. Yeah, we'll move on. Steph will be back in a week. All right, boys, clean us out. The final award, the brand new one we've never done before, the Nostradamus Award. It will go to the person who can predict the future most accurately. And so we won't find out the winner of this until next week, but we do get to throw our hat in the ring for it. Guess the record over the next 3 games. The Warriors are at Phoenix, at Denver, and then Houston at home. Steph Curry is supposed to be back for all 3. Maxime, why don't you take us first?
Sorry, you said Houston is the last one?
Houston at home is the last one.
Yikes. I think, Phoenix is looking pretty good, right? I think Kevin Durant is playing some fantastic basketball right now. It seems like Bradley Beal is having a decent time playing ball, at least for the moment. You can't expect him to get injured over the next one. I think I would say let's go 2-1. I think we lose against Phoenix, but then we bring it back. We win against Denver and against Houston.
if you could only have one, right? I mean, so we're hoping we get 3-0, right? But like, if you had the ability right now, press a button, magic button question, and you guaranteed a victory against one of these three, Phoenix, Denver, Houston, which one would you want the most?
Ooh, that's actually, I mean, my first thought was Phoenix, and maybe I'm letting that on by my thinking that I think that's the one that we're going to lose because, you know, I just want to beat Kevin Durant at this point. But Denver, I mean, there's reason to, they're still fantastic. Jokic is probably the best person in the league. We match up very poorly against them. So I think it would be a huge statement win for us. And everybody's very excited about Houston as this young upcoming team that's got a lot of stuff that they're figuring out right now. So I don't want to lose against them, but I still just want to beat Kevin Durant more than anybody else.
I say we go 2-1. I'm not sure who we go 2-1 against. I might just be trying to speak this into existence, but that's fine. 2-1. And then if I had to pick one, so significance, right? Significance wise, you want one from Phoenix or Denver. Means more, probably a team we might see in the playoffs, something like that. And it'll be a good win. But as the petty king I am, Houston, 100% Houston. I hate Tari Eason. I mean, how many times we have to see this dude, man? So, yes, 1,000% Houston. If we have to go 1-2 and it means we get to beat Houston, I think I might go that direction.
Well, good news is Tari Eason is still tired from that last little 5-minute stretch he had against us last time. So, and Maxime, I'm 100% banking on Bradley Beal being injured before we play them.
That's a good call.
Disagree with you on that one. But I think we go 2-1, but I think we lose in Denver. I think, like you said, it's a terrible matchup for us. We always struggle with them. Even though Aaron Gordon isn't back, I still think playing in Denver at altitude is always a little bit of our kryptonite. So I think we surprise Phoenix a little bit with our depth, and I think we take it personal about Tari Eason, and we go 2-1.
I'm actually going to be at the game Thursday against Houston. So if it's not going well and you see somebody storm the court, well, whatever. Yeah, if you don't watch the video, you may not know it's me, but I'm not taking it totally off the table. Maxime, I should have brought this up earlier on, so I know you went to the Brooklyn game. And you get to go, you've been to a ton of games, but you don't go to all of them. So I imagine it was a special thing, dude, that you were excited to go, but they also throw it away. They piss that game off. So for you, enjoyable, let me put it a different way. My emotional attachment to the team occasionally ruins the money I spend to go. There's not a whole lot of other experiences where I spend above, $300-$400 to go enjoy it. And then I might leave hell of angry because they've lost. It's one of the things that is specific to sports. So for you, you go to that game, and like, did you enjoy it? Was it a positive experience? Or when they piss away the lead, do you leave wishing you had not gone?
I kind of wish I hadn't gone. I was going with a friend of mine who is a casual fan. He invited me. And I've been talking to him. I was like, oh, it would be so fun to go. He has enough knowledge. He was watching pretty heavily, but fell off recently. And so he's just not a big Warrior. He's not a big sports fan in general, but I really wanted, to show him a great time, right? To give him some takes, to just sort of, as we went early, we're going through watching the shooting lineups. I was like, oh, that's Cam Thomas, we got to watch out for him and just trying to give him an update. And then as we were going, he's like, oh, this is great. Things are going really well, and then they started to creep back up. I'm like, don't worry. This is a classic thing, explaining how it works, especially with one of the more bottom feeding teams. It's going to be fine. And then ultimately we lose. And he sends me a text later. Natalie sent out a text to our group that had my wife. She says, hey, I'm really sorry you had to see Maxime yell a bunch. And his response was, yeah, it was kind of sad. It's like, oh no. So not only did I not convince this guy to start watching sports with me more regularly, he said it was kind of sad. It's just the worst case scenario. I had a bad time in that fourth quarter, and then we left sad.
I have had similar. I've been to games with people who don't care quite as much, and when they're winning, you just become like, you're happy, you're light. And so like, you're talking about anything, you're watching the game, but the conversational topics now range because you're not as stressed out about it. So they can ask you anything, how's work, how's life, those kind of things. It's going great. And then when the Warriors start losing, I've had the circumstance where, because the friend doesn't care, isn't paying attention in the same way. And so we'll be halfway through, whatever, how's your daughter? I'll be talking about it. And then suddenly out of nowhere, I'm like, you have to make that shot. Like, you have to make that shot.
Yes.
And now it's hell of tense, and like, now we're like not talking, and the guy doesn't know, like, do I ask you a follow-up? Are we still talking about your daughter? Or like, is this a thing? Like, what happens now? You know? And so I definitely, and I don't know if you took the ferry there, but post game, when it's a shitburger loss and they don't care and you're really pissy, that's a very, very awkward ride home. You know, like it's hella quiet and
Long.
yeah, dude, like cold. I refuse to talk to them at all. So yeah, good times for sure, for sure. Let's end this with a familiar compliment, but put in a different way. Props to fucking Maxime and what he's doing with this YouTube shit. So obviously he's participating with us. He has been dropping takes the same level that we've been dropping, but while doing that, he is all operating the video board in an incredibly competent manner. Come check it out, dude. Hop on YouTube, see what this man is doing. Be impressed like the rest of us. And when you are so impressed and you want to shoot us an email and let us know that he is just killing it, you can send that email to
Huddle@warriorshuddle.com.
Boom. We are also on social media, including on Blue Sky now, I believe. We got to really dig in on that. I've been slow to any new platform because I hate starting things over. It makes me, I don't know, I'm too lazy to do it, but we're trying it with Blue Sky. So I'm on board. Hop up there, search for Warriors Huddle. We're also on Twitter and other social media sites. With that in mind, go Warriors. And hopefully we'll see you next week.